and have first bonding with the baby.
Yeah.
But that's a different thing. We're talking, that's
Yeah.
an indigenous Nigerian scenario, not a antiseptic hospital scenario.
Right. Well, but
But they
their
were in the
compromise was that dad did want to watch the baby, and so their compromise was that dad watched the baby in the hospital instead of the nurse.
But the baby had mommy first.
Yeah, baby had mommy
We're
first.
cool.
Yeah.
We're good.
Yeah.
We're good. I'm curious about the history of that.
Yeah.
But that's another thing. So, doulas, we want to encourage baby wearing. We want to encourage our parents to put the baby in a sling, have the baby close, especially little ones under a month old or 2-3 months old. If you watch little newborns when they're laying like on a pillow, even with you, you watch them stop breathing. They stop breathing. Why do they stop breathing? Because breathing is the last thing that they gotta do. They gotta learn to do when they get born. They haven't needed to breathe inside of mama. They're attached to her by the umbilical cord, and they're getting all the oxygen that they need from their mothers. But if the baby is kind of lying there on the couch or in the crib down the hall, and there's no living contact person to remind the baby to keep breathing, that's one of the ways that babies can be crib death. I remind folks that they call it crib death for a reason. And there's a lot of talk about crib death in the culture, and we want to put the baby to sleep on its back, and we want to do all those other things, and I'm not going to get into all that right now. But I think one of the most important things we can do, especially with a little bitty baby, is let mothers hold their babies. Encourage mom. It's really weird. Like, they're concerned about babies experiencing a crib death, but then they warn you against co-sleeping. That co-sleeping is wrong and bad. And there are healthy ways to sleep with your babies. Again, like all mammals, be right with you. Like all mammals snuggle up with their babies. Like mama horse, when it's time to go to bed, is in the corral with her baby, and they're close to each other. Do you want to say something, Gloria?
Yeah, and that's what I was going to say. Like, if you realize when your baby is small like them, all you have to do is breathe on your baby, and your baby will think that you're going to sleep. Once your breathing calms, he calms his breathing, then you might end up sleep with the baby, but the baby will for surely be asleep.
Absolutely right. Because the mama and baby, again, are still one person. That baby and mama are still bonded. That mama-baby bond is going on for a really long time. And it goes on, really. I mean, my sons are grown men. My sons are all in their 30s. And there are times when I feel them and they feel me in a specific way because they're my boys. They're always going to be, They're my beautiful, handsome, big boys, all grown up. But they're still my kids. And we have that bond of love, and we have that bond of family and genetics between us. And that's a powerful thing. So we want to use that mama-baby bond. It's very important for things like trying to calm a fussy baby, trying to help baby go to sleep, help, beautiful big baby calm down. He's actually doing very well for being in an adult environment for so long. He's doing great. And he cries as soon as I say that. He's perfect. He's perfect. It's all right, sweetie one. It's all right. You want mommy to walk around with him. So we want to educate parents on what's normal for human infants, which is not what this culture pretty much celebrates. All of these ways that, like, I had a mama say to me once, why does my baby need me all the time? Why does it need me so much? And I took a deep breath, like, because you're his mama. Who else should he need? He doesn't need he doesn't do this at daycare. No, because you're the mom. You're the dad. You're actually really important people. And to me, this is one of the things that's so frustrating to me, that I really feel that patriarchy disables parents. Like, you're just replaceable by a bottle. You're just replaceable by a TV set. You're replaceable by the stupid app on the iPad. It really drives me crazy that there are apps for little bitty babies. Like little bitty, like 11-month-old kids know how to use the iPhone. It makes me insane. I will try to get over it. But I'm like, and there's a time and a place for everything, but too much. That's too much.
Say, you don't have to get over it.
Thank you. Thank you. Because some people like crazy. No, I'm just like, because also we're talking about attachments and bonds. Bless you, whoever's seen it. We're talking about attachment and bonds. We have children that are attaching to technology.
Mm-hmm.
They are bonding, not with, like, you ever seen a little baby, like baby ducks and geese? That if you're there, if you're present when little baby geese come out of their eggs and they latch eyes on you, they'll follow you around like you're their mama because they bonded with you. Little humans are doing a similar thing, but they're bonding to the television or the iPad or the iPhone. And this is not, there's no empathy there. Bonding to a machine might work if they grow up to work at Google, but it's not going to help them find a partner, and it's not going to help them, you know, communicate well with other people and access emotions and feelings. And so we have to really, you know, it's not like the kids shouldn't grow up and work at Google if they want to and can get hired by Google, but you don't give up your humanity for that. I'm noticing, and maybe, you know, you get to be older and you start complaining about how humanity is, but like people are way ruder and sharper and harsher with each other now than they were even 20 years ago. And I think all of us, I mean, and I'm a big culprit of that. I love my iPhone. But I also have to be mindful to make sure I have time and contact with other human beings. So that's what it is with the attachment parenting thing. We want to make sure also we have to also bear in mind too that it's hard attaching to other human beings. It's easy to attach to the iPhone. It has no need for us. It won't make demands of us. Other human beings are very challenging. I think of, you know, what I as a mommy mammal am proud about for my boys and my young men now. I have to stop calling them boys. Well, maybe I won't. They know what I mean.
They'll always be your baby.
Yes. Even though they can pick me up and toss me around. What's important for me as a mommy mammal, when I look at my sons, I see sons who overall have good friendships with other people. They can connect well with other human beings. They have mates who they're good to and who are good back to them. And it's not perfect. They're not perfect. I wasn't a perfect mother. But I see them doing that. And that is the most important thing to me. They have good personalities. They're artistic, not autistic. They're able to connect with other people well and succeed in life in that way. My success for my children is not about how much money they have in the bank. What I think is successful for my children is how they walk in the world and how other people connect with them and how they connect with other people. So if we have that in mind as we raise our kids, and if we have that in our minds as doulas helping parents to achieve that for their kids, we'll be going in a good direction. We need to know, too, that crying it out equals evil. Straight up evil. It is not okay to just let babies cry and cry and cry. It is not okay.
So how do you, as a doula, how do you tell that to a mother whose mother is telling her or grandmother is telling her?
Very good question. That's a very good question. It's a hard one. What I do is ask the mother how she feels inside when her baby is crying. For the most part, the answer is, I feel stressed because the baby's crying. And I'm like, that is your body signaling to you. The baby's cry is programmed to irritate the heck out of its parents more than anybody else. Why? Because that's your kid. Your kid's calling you. We need to respond. And then I also actually offer help and what we can do to reduce the baby crying, and also to show the mom that if she gives the attention, the baby cries less. And that does happen. When the mom shows up with the attention, the baby is not crying for a half an hour. Also, to very wonky moms who need a lot of info, we talk about cortisol. And when the baby is crying, it's making the stress hormone cortisol. And the stress hormone cortisol also actually shrinks the baby's brain. So there's lots of interesting studies on how people who are very abused as children, of course, are more prone to learning disabilities and other issues like that. But they also have lower IQ. You know, they're less able to handle stress. There's all kinds of things, information you can pull up on the internet, that's valid stuff, that you can share with mom to show yeah, it's more challenging, but these are the gifts that you're giving your kid by showing up for your kid in this specific way. And most moms are actually relieved to get this information because they want to go to their child, but Nana and Auntie are telling her not to.
I like that idea about triggering them into their own bodies.
Yeah. Because that's, to me, I want moms to develop their own instinct and I think we have it, we get separated from it. So my job is to smile and be positive and help the mom connect with her own wise inner self. We all have our own wise inner self. And when the baby cries, it feels like when my babies cried, it felt like a knife in my heart. And it feels like that for a reason. You pick up the baby, the pain goes away, you know? And then you rock the baby, you center the baby, and then you deal. Wearing the baby is wonderful because a baby that's worn will hardly ever cry. The baby's warm and snuggly and comfortable in there, you know? And you can do some things. I mean, you could actually be on the computer if you really have to with the baby in a sling. The baby's hearing your heartbeat. The baby feels safe. Your breast is right there. The baby can nurse. You can see some indigenous cultures, the baby is on the mama's skin to skin all day long. In some cultures, there's a big party when the mom finally puts the baby on the ground because the baby's never been on the ground away from her. You know, it's like, woohoo, the baby can crawl now. The baby crawls around. So, and part of what Deanna just said is my last comment is to really support the family in standing strong when other folks come in with their input. If the family has made a decision to do this attachment parenting thing, which I just call like raising a normal human infant, if they have made a decision they're going to put their child's needs first, helping them to graciously deal with the grandparents and in-laws who are going to come and tell them that their kid is just going to be a lazy bum because all you do is pick it up all the time. The odds are, statistically, that is so not going to be the case. And it's hard, it's painful, but parents just need to have that support that they're not crazy, they're not harming their child in any way, shape, or form. Give them the information that they need so that they know. And as their child grows in life, they will reap the beautiful benefits of what they're doing. They will see and how their child responds to the world and gets through life. Children who get their touch needs met are less sick than children who don't. There's so many benefits. We can go on and on. I can spend 2 hours just listing all the benefits to the baby's body and the mommy's body in doing this aware human parenting. And at the end of my little sheet here, I've got 2 great books that I do recommend. I think I have it on here. I do. Avoid Sleep Training. Boo on sleep training.
It's huge right now.
It's huge.
And I don't get it.
I do. I'll tell you what it is. Our mamas are having their babies later. A chunk of our moms are having our babies later. It is really a big deal to lose sleep when you're in your 30s.
True. Or if you have to go right back to work.
You know, when I was 19 when my twins were born. And it's really a big deal. You lose sleep, especially if you're not co-sleeping. I got a lot of sleep because me and my little twins were in bed together as mama, you know. But there are folks who want to have their kid in the bed away from them, and then you're over 35 years old. You're in excruciating pain at the lack of sleep. So anyone who's going to come and promise you to make that baby sleep through the night, you're going to pay them $1 million. There are people who have like certifications now. There's sleep trainers. And, you know, again, this is another thing that the society does to not match the needs of kids. Children will learn eventually. All children are born kind of confused. They dance the bossa nova at night. When you're a pregnant lady, you notice the baby gets all active at nighttime. Right? Because the mama is more quiet at night. During the day, mama's up walking around, rocking the baby to sleep all day long. At night, the baby's in there dancing the bossa nova. They're born confused. With time and with love, babies understand that nighttime is for resting and daytime is for activity. And that will happen gradually. One of the best book that I have seen so far to humanely help your child do this is the No Cry Sleep Solution. That is an outstanding book. It is written from an attachment parenting point of view. And it is about gently urging sweet little muffin to go to bed with you. Okay. So another thing that even if you don't read Ms. Pantley's book, which I suggest that doulas read it so they know how to help their moms. Moms over, if you have a client over 35 years of age, it's a really nice doula gift. It's not an expensive book. It's a great book. Because otherwise everybody goes and buys The Happiest Baby on the Block, which I think is one of the worst books on that subject ever. Everyone gets Happiest Baby on the Block and What to Expect When You are Expecting. And those two books I really have a problem with. We'll have a seminar just on them one day. But for sure, the No Cry Sleep Solution is sweetness. And our buddies, Sears and Sears, that we should know for parents or doulas, they're, I believe William Sears coined the phrase attachment parenting.
So he's the one getting it.
Well, yeah, he's a white man. We love him. We love him, you know, but it's all right. We love you. We love all the Sears. Now there are two Dr. Sears. Their son, Bob Sears, is William Sears, and one of their sons is also a pediatrician now. So he's writing books and doing stuff and being lovely like all of his family is. Their book on attachment parenting is very helpful. It focuses on infants. And so if you extrapolate from the care given to infants to for the rest of the child's life, you'll be in a good place. So I think those two books are really, really helpful getting started. Good for doulas to have that information in their heads. Good for us to share with our clients. And good armor. Your client can say to mom or grandma, look, a doctor wrote this book. And it says I should wear the baby. So you're going to argue with that doctor? Whatever ammo the family can get, we want to give them. It's about giving folks permission to do what they would naturally do if nobody was interfering or interceding. Most people can't get enough of their newborn babies. Most human beings can't get enough of newborn babies. You know, we have an instinctive drive to be there for these little creatures and to love them and to lay down our lives for them. And as I said earlier, there's just nothing more important than that. So that's all that I want to say to you about that. If you have some questions, now's a good time.
I asked mine as we were going, so I'm good.
You asked your questions. Any other questions? All right. Any questions, Tess? All right.
Well, thank
So
you,
we're good.
Samsarah.
Thank you so much.